Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well, and today we're going to talk about Huya stock, which we've not really talked about on the channel for a little bit, as the stock's kind of not really done too much, but we've kind of covered it on the Patreon, which if you do want to join, the link is in the description. We did a bit of a live stream on that Huya a few days ago, maybe last week I think it was, as well as that we are going to be covering ETFs and how to choose the right position size when you're buying a stock actually today on the Patreon. So if you do want to join, links in the description, and if you do want to start investing, some links to some brokers as well, and smash the like button while I'm at it, might as well go for that one. But yeah, we're going to talk about Huya, and there was news coming out, and this came from Seeking Alpha, that reports are saying that the merger between Huya and DouYu may be blocked. Now these guys, Seeking Alpha, they are rumours, but these guys normally have been spot on with pretty much how this deal's been going so far. They've pretty much been saying through most of this Huya and DouYu merger that there is a lot of things blocking what's going on, and it's clearly played out like that. You know, obviously the Huya and DouYu merger has been going on for probably 6 months I think now, and Seeking Alpha all the time being reporting there's things in the way, and whenever it's come to the earning reports, you know, Huya has come out, so there's not much progress being made. And I think even though these are like rumours, I think with the information where it's coming from Seeking Alpha, I think they're quite legitimate, and they've been spot on what has previously happened in this merger, which has been very slow to progress. So even though these are like rumours that the Huya and DouYu merger may be blocked, I would say there's definitely quite strong evidence that these are from a reliable source that's kind of going on. So yeah, I put rumours / probs true here. Now, funny enough, you'll see that actually we had a bit of a red day, so the whole market was down in general, but definitely for DouYu it was down a lot more than what Huya was, and that's because this merger does benefit Huya quite a lot in the long term, but definitely over the short term the merger was more favourable to DouYu, because they were pretty much getting it was a 50-50 merger, and I've said previously on the channel, Huya and DouYu shouldn't be a 50-50 merger, and that was one of the things. But yeah, we know that Huya has been held back, you know, for you guys that have been here, you know, we know it's been held back because they've said that the Chinese government basically said Tencent are trying to build up a monopoly and won't allow this to go through. It seems like Tencent have been going back and forth. They've had a lot of meetings, and what they've offered to give up to kind of get this merger to go through still isn't enough. And it seems like now it was supposed to close in Q2, which gives us roughly 2 months to get this sorted, and it looks like it's not going to happen, let's be honest. And hopefully it doesn't drag past Q2, because this is probably, in my opinion, one of the things that are holding the company back at the moment, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. But first, before I do get on to like my thoughts on this whole situation, I thought this was a really good thing to talk about, because I actually got told this the other day. I was talking about Huya to someone, and we were both saying how undervalued this company actually is. And I was saying, the growth it's at, you know, if it was an American company, but even from a Chinese company point of view, you look at a company like Bilibili, you look at what their share price has done once as Wall Street woke up. And someone actually said, well, as well as that, you only have to look at Twitch. And I was like, what do you mean you look at Twitch? He said, well, Twitch was bought by Amazon, and Twitch is pretty much the American version of Huya. And Amazon actually paid up like 70 times sales for Twitch. I think it was back in 2013. And I was like, oh yeah, I actually totally forgot about that. Yeah, Amazon bought Twitch, and they paid up a big premium back for that ages ago. You know, it was still early stages, still unprofitable. With Huya, you're getting a profitable company. And the thing is, Amazon, when they paid up for Twitch, they paid 70 times sales. The thing right now is that Huya is somewhere like at 2. At 2, I mean, it's just crazy, you know, a platform like Huya that's profitable at a crazy forward PE, trading at a price sales of 2, and Twitch were bought a few years ago, a lot earlier stages, for 70 times sales. And I thought that just kind of shows the difference here. This is the difference of like Amazon paid up for Twitch, and it will benefit them in the long run, but it also shows you how cheap Huya is. And the thing is, I'm going to get on this in a little bit, but I always like things come across like, right, what happens if this stock doesn't start doing anything? Is this stock actually, I always like when it doesn't kind of go up, I kind of like reevaluate it all the time, making sure like, is my money still good here? And every time I look at Huya, and it doesn't matter what I compare it to, there's so many things I've compared it to, and Huya still screams that it's still incredibly cheap at these sort of prices. But I'll talk about that a little bit in the end. But yeah, I just thought I'd share that story with you about Twitch, and actually when you compare what Amazon paid for Twitch to what Huya is right now, it's just incredibly cheap. But yeah, going back to the whole point of this merger, if, in my opinion, the merger is what's been holding Huya back as a stock, and if it wasn't for the merger, the problem is with the merger, it creates uncertainty, and investors don't like uncertainty. So at the moment, when people are looking at Huya, they're looking at Huya and thinking, am I buying Huya, or am I buying Huya and DouYu merged together? And that's the uncertainty thing that's happening. And you'll have people that are like, oh, well, I only want to own Huya. There'll be people that are like, oh, I want to only be in DouYu. There'll be a lot of day traders in. And yet there's so much going on with the company. And like I said, this whole merger creates a lot of uncertainty. And that's why people, in my opinion, at the moment aren't getting involved with Huya until they realise, okay, what company am I buying here? And in my opinion, that's what's holding it back. And when it was announced the merger was going to happen and it was going to be Q2, I was like, that's quite far away, but okay, we'll let it go. And I thought, you know what, maybe it'll get done a bit quicker than that, because we were talking like 6 months down the line, but we are still here and it's still not happened. And yeah, for me, in my point of view, which I'll talk about in a second, the most important thing for me is to get rid of the uncertainty. And the uncertainty is get the deal done, don't get the deal done. Just let's call it off. Huya goes its own way, DouYu goes its own way, and I'm more happy to have Huya shares than over DouYu shares. But it definitely needs to get sorted, because I think this is the one major problem that's happening right now. Because if you ever look at the stock price on Huya was actually starting to rise before the actual merger was announced, and I think it would have carried on going up. But I think this uncertainty is what's keeping it down. And yeah, for me, it was either get the deal done or don't get it done. And either way, I think there's a great company here. But yeah, I think, in my opinion, I would like the deal to be done, because we've been waiting on this for 6 months now, and it would benefit Huya in the longer term. Sure, the deal terms weren't amazing on Huya, 50-50 for Huya, which is a miles better company than DouYu. But now that we're so far, it just seems like it would be better to get them benefits of these two merging together. But yeah, I think hopefully, like I said, once this is done, we move on our way and we go higher on the share price. Now, when I worked it out, I actually thought, you know what, there's actually more positives for this deal not to go through than for it to go through, because the thing is with Huya, what you'll do is then you'll have higher growth rates, because DouYu isn't growing that much anymore. Huya is the number one player, it's growing at a great amount, and the thing is if DouYu and Huya merge together, the growth rate will probably slow down on Huya in the longer term. So yeah, that probably would slow down because you've got DouYu there. So you probably have higher revenue growth. But you'd see the jump when the merger would happen, I guess. So yeah, it's not a huge point. But as well as that, the share price, if the merger wasn't to go through, I think the share price would, once again go up. I think if to be fair, if it didn't happen, it would go up as well. Obviously, in the short term, they did overpay for it. So I think obviously that might help the share price. And also, it's still, this is probably my scruffiest writing I've ever put on a whiteboard, but yeah, there's still the leader in the industry. The thing is like, we're not kind of like, it's a scrappy fight here. Huya is the leader, so we're still going to have the market leader, which is something I always like to have when I'm investing into a company. Is always to have the market leader, or the one that looks like they're going to continue being the market leader going forward as well. I guess I only had one negative, which was the competition. Obviously these guys then Huya, DouYu won't have to battle away to have the streamers on the platform. Rather, they kind of work together. Streamers maybe stream on both platforms at the same time. So I think from a competition point of view, it might have made them a bit more profitable and not battling for them streamers. But yeah, that's the only thing I have. But it seems like to me anyway, Huya is definitely the more popular one for streamers to go to. But that was the only one negative I did have. But yeah, overall, like I say, there's some positives. Like I said, I think over the long term, when you have both companies together, less competition, it would have been good on the profit side, and you would have seen a nice revenue jump in the short term for sure. So yeah, in the long term, it would have been good without the competition side of it. But even so, Huya is a solid company, as you can see previously, with even out the merger. So yeah, overall, my kind of thoughts on this situation is that I'm kind of like just get the merger done, or cancel it. That's, if I have Huya as a stock, I'm happy to have Huya as stock. As if I have the merger, I'm still happy that way. But my main priority is just get something done because, in my opinion, until the uncertainty goes, this is when the share price won't move in the right direction. And just on the point of view as like me as an investor, when I would sell this company, like I say, when I buy a company, normally I invest into a company for 2 to 5 years. And when I buy a company in the first kind of 6 to 12 months, I never really expect the stock to kind of go up. Sometimes it works out in the favour of that it does go up in them 6 to 12 months. You look at Genius, you hit a home run, and you take a nice, easy, quick profit. It's always, sometimes it works out like that, and it's amazing. And sometimes that is really what helps you scale up your portfolio. Sometimes it goes in the other direction. Sometimes it can go down. Your average gets lower, but then you make more money in the longer run, 2 to 5 years down the line. With Huya, we are kind of, in the first 6 to 12 months, I don't expect the company to do anything. Normally, I'm happy for the company to kind of flatline. I build my position over a 6 to 12 month period. And then normally after the 12 months, I like to see the company kick on. With Huya, I've been in this company since about August 2020 now, which is coming up to a year. Well, we're not exactly there in a year just yet, but we are only 3-4 months off getting to a year of holding Huya, 12 months in. So when we do get around to August time, I do expect this company to start bringing me in some returns. Obviously we're still off that, and I think hopefully by that point we have the Huya and DouYu merger sorted out, and then it does kick on. But I'm looking at this company now thinking, okay, I've been nearly in 12 months now. Okay, we need to start kicking on. So management do need to, either go, yep, it's happening, or it's not happening. Because like I said, the share price does need to kick on from here and start bringing me in the rewards. And like I said a few minutes ago, like I always, when I buy a company and the company kind of either goes down or nothing happens, I tend to go into that company. Like Skills the other day, Skills went down from being up 140% down to, I think I was down on my position maybe 20%. And I looked into that company and I was like, okay, that's a massive reverse right there. Has something fundamentally changed with this company? And I'll go in, reassess it all, go through my numbers, look at the company again, like it was a brand new company, and go, no, it's still a solid company, I'll go buy it. And Huya has been very much similar over the last 6 to 12 months. And I look at this company, and even though I always like to see it kick on in the next 12 months, I do look at this company and I go, it just does not make sense for this company to be at this valuation. So even if this company didn't do anything after the next kind of 12 months, 18 months, I'd probably still hold my shares, because I look at this company and go, whatever metric, whatever competition you look at, this company is cheap and it should go up in value. Bilibili was one that kind of didn't do anything for a little bit, and then boom, you go up 700%. And I look at Huya and when I buy companies, I always think, okay, I go into companies thinking I want to make at least 100%. I want to at least double my money up in the next 2 to 5 years. For me, that's worth the investment. And Huya, I look at this company once again and I go, yeah, I look at this company and I go, I look at it and honestly, I go, I see me easily making double my money on this company, easy. And the crazy thing on this one is that I just look at it and I go, it should be $40 and above, but realistically, if we look at this, and like I said with the Twitch story early on, this company should be like a Bilibili. This company should be, I think it trades at like a 4 billion valuation. This company should be at a 4 billion valuation, okay? Even at 10 billion, I'd say this is cheap. I would say realistically, this company should be pushing up to like a 50 billion company, which is 10x from here. It should be a 50 billion company. I mean, I don't know if it'll get there because it's a Chinese company. Clearly, things happen. Sometimes this happens in the stock market. But, if we just took Huya and put Twitch on there instead of being called Huya, I think this company is in easy 30 billion at least. Easy 30 billion. And it's just crazy because I look at this company and I think, even though I judge a company, after the first 12 months, I want to see the game plan when I looked into the company coming in and kicking in place. And I'll make money from there. This is one that I'm looking at and I think even if it don't kick on for 12 months, I'm quite happy to hold it for 24 months because just every metric I look at this company, it's just so cheap and it should be trading down here. And like I say, I think, my big thing is I think the merger's holding it back, because if it wasn't for the merger, I think it would get rid of the uncertainty. People know if they're buying Huya or DouYu or both of them, and they come in, buy the company. And we saw it when the merger was announced. You know, the stock was actually on an uptrend, and then the merger was announced, and people were like, oh, Huya and DouYu, Huya massively got the bad end of this deal because it's a 50-50 merger and it shouldn't be. And people were like, oh, I'm going to sell out of it or something like that, and everything that was created. And then it went down from there. And realistically, when you look at the company, and this merger's gone out of the way, you know, this company should go back on an upward trend, and especially if it was just on its own. You know, I think it was like a $24 stock, maybe even higher than that when the merger was announced. You know, it should go back up there. And yeah, overall, that's everything that with the merger. Like I said, it does look like these rumours have a lot of truth behind them with what has previously come out, and that has been very true with Seeking Alpha articles. And yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. But from my point of view, it just needs to get sorted, and the stock will go and sort itself out and go up. If you were forcing me to make a opinion if I think the merger will happen or won't happen, it's a tricky question. It is such a tricky question. I think that obviously Tencent do want it to happen. Judging with that there has been so much going back and forth for so long, and they still haven't been able to agree anything, and that we are moving into the month of May, my feeling would be that it's not going to go through. But you never know. You never know. Things can change very quickly. But yeah, like I say, in my opinion, I'm not bothered if I do get Huya. I'm not bothered if I do get Huya and DouYu both together. As long as I've got Huya in there, I think that's the main thing. And whatever happens, it will go up in value. We just need to get rid of this uncertainty, like I said before. But yeah, anyway, before I cover any of the same points again there, we're going to call it there. But I hope you enjoyed this little update into Huya. And like I say, also the little Twitch story as well. I think that also just proves how cheap this company is right now. But yeah, if you could smash the like button, if you're new and you found it useful, subscribe as well. That'd be absolutely amazing. And I'll see you next video.